What's up guys, I'm back once again, and in this week's episode, instead of taking a look at hot mods of the week, as it's close to Christmas, I thought that we'd take a look at mods to transform your Fallout 4 into a winter survival game. Now arguably, the most important thing about winterizing your game is the snow, and that is exactly what we're going to add with the first mod. And of course, I'm talking about Icepick Overhaul. Now what Icepick Overhaul intends to do is add a mostly realistic winter experience to your Fallout 4, adding just the right amount of snow, not too much and not too little. Now it's one thing to have snow on the ground, but we want it to actually snow in game, and luckily enough we have just the mod with Polluted Climate Winter Edition. Now with this mod installed, you can expect it to snow fairly regularly, which is what you would expect when trying to winterize your game.
Okay, so far we've managed to get snow on the ground and we've managed to get snow to fall from the sky. But we want to make the game feel cold. We want to feel like we're in a true nuclear winter. But how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use the mod Fallout 2087 Nuclear Winter. And the first thing you're going to notice is this new widget on your HUD. And this is going to tell you the ambient temperature, the wind speed, and your character's core body temperature. As well as this, it's also going to show you how wet your character is, indicated by the blue icon, and if they're close to a heat source, which is indicated by the orange one. Now it's all well and good having a fancy widget on your screen, but what actually happens if you neglect to keep your core body temperature up? Well, if your temperature falls below 36 degrees Fahrenheit, you will catch a case of mild hypothermia. At this temperature, you will experience minus 50% aim stability and have an increased chance of getting sick. Below 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit, you will experience moderate hypothermia. At this temperature, you will have reduced limb heal rate, take 20% more damage, take 10 damage to all of your limbs, and your hands will be freezing, resulting in 20% aim stability. And if your temperature falls below 84.5 degrees Fahrenheit, you will experience scaling cold damage. Every 15 seconds, you will take more cold damage per second. Also, your character will not be able to run or sprint. And finally, if your temperature still continues to drop, you will experience amnesia. Occasionally, time will advance, and you will show up somewhere else. And this is what that looks like. Now when this happens, your character is still very much in the severe hypothermia threshold, as you can see from the red pill in the corner of the screen. So you need to get your character to a heat source as quickly as possible. Now I've just spent nearly 2 minutes explaining to you the dangers of the cold, but this mod does add in a few new options to swing things in your favour. And just like real life, food and beverages will now affect your temperature. For 20 minutes after being cooked, food will actually give you a heat bonus, and alcohol will give you a short increase in your core body temperature, but a penalty to your insulation. Now water, whether it be purified or dirty, will not provide any inherent bonus, but will freeze over time if the temperature drops too low. Now let's say that all of your food has gone cold, and all of your water has frozen. What are you supposed to do? Well, for 1 wood, you can reheat the food and defrost the water, so that you can use it once more. Now if all of these options seem a bit overwhelming, let's say you just want the cold mechanics for example, well all of this is completely customizable in the MCM, as well as the difficulty. You can have this mod simply be a minor thing that you need to keep your eye on so as not to catch hypothermia, or you can make it so difficult that any time that you are away from a heat source, you will constantly need to monitor your temperature. And if you do everything right and keep your body above 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll receive a warm bonus, making your body more resistant to diseases and infections. Now if you play with all of these winter mods, there's going to come a time when you need an emergency heat source, otherwise your character may die. And luckily for you, with this next mod, you can have just that, with Campsite Simple Wasteland Camping. With this mod, if your character gets too cold, simply start a fire, wait for a while to regain some heat, and then be on your way again. Now to get your hands on these pieces of equipment, simply head to a chem station and look under the camping gear winter section. Here you can craft everything for a very small amount of crafting materials, but the main things you're going to want are a cooking pot, a few fire kits, a flip lighter, a GPS beacon, a lantern, and some kind of tent. A sleeping bag will work,
but in survival you can only sleep for 3 hours in a sleeping bag, and when you've finished regaining your heat, simply pick up all of your equipment and be on your way again, except the fire, that simply needs to be extinguished, hence why we crafted more than one earlier. And make sure you don't forget to pick up your GPS, otherwise you're constantly going to have this mission marker showing you where your last campsite was. Now of course, it wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't end it off on a weapon mod, and there really isn't a mod that suits this theme. Well, except the AK5C, which gives you a Christmas themed unique on Christmas Day, but I've already covered that weapon, so instead we're going to take a look at the AK400, and you can acquire this weapon via quest. After entering the Commonwealth for the first time after installing this mod, you'll begin the quest Gravedigger, find the AK400, and this quest will take you to a ghoul infested bunker near the Wilson Automatoys factory, and after digging up said weapon, you'll complete the quest Gravedigger, and you'll be asked a couple of questions about how you'd like the weapon to be added into the leveled list. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 7 receivers, 2 barrels, 2 stocks, 2 magazines, 12 sights, 3 muzzles, 5 left and right side attachments, 6 materials, and finally 6 damage options to balance the weapon. Now, as I've already mentioned, the perfect weapon to have reviewed would have been the AK5C because of the Christmas themed unique you get on Christmas Day. But anyway, we're getting a bit off topic. Let's get back to talking about the AK400. The quest to find it may not be long, but at least there is a quest, instead of just crafting it at a chem station. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes you want weapons to be added into the game in a bit more of a lore-friendly manner. But anyway, this is one of those weapon mods that I keep finding myself constantly coming back to. I don't find myself uninstalling this mod very often, and when I do, it's not for very long. So if you're looking for an absolute beast of an assault rifle to accompany you in your winter playthrough, then this one is definitely worth a download. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for this mod, and the video for that matter. I hope you all enjoyed the mods here today, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you all in the next video.